Greetings and welcome to the 8th episode of Rant. And for this one, we will be reviewing Chrono Quest. Chrono Quest is an adventure game released back in 1988 by the French outfit Infomedia and published by Psygnosis. Chrono Quest was released for the Amiga and Atari ST. Here, of course, we shall be playing the Amiga version. Now, this was a game I didn't have back in the day, but I did have the sequel, Chrono Quest 2, and it was kind of an okay adventure game. So I was curious to see what the first one looked and played like. So, let's get this started. And you can tell by the logo, this is one of the early Psygnosis games. And we have here a title screen with a nice tune by David Whittaker. Even though I'm not sure this music fits this game very well, it would be more appropriate for an action game, like a shooter or a platformer. And now we have a beautiful screen here with the artwork by Roger Dean, who created the box art for this game. And I think maybe this screen was the best part of this game. We're starting in this nice castle. You can hear this medieval tune playing. It's not so bad, but it is very short and it is repeated all the time. So I'm going to turn it off before this drives you insane so that you can save the trip to the psychiatrist. Oh, this is much better. So, as you can see, the screen is actually very small and cramped. It's a first person view type of game. So my main problem with this game lies with the controls. The controls are hideous. They're abysmal. They're the worst controls I have ever encountered in any adventure game. You interact with the environment by using these icons. Okay, let's see what they do. I had to actually look them up in the game manual to understand what they do. So, this thing is not implying an obscene gesture, but this is actually used to pick up objects. Uh, this one here um, that looks like your hero performs a Hadouken um, is actually throwing something. Okay. Now this one should mean examine or investigate, but what about these ones? What do they do? This one looks like some very unhealthy headphones, but actually it means turning around, even though it does nothing. This other obscene gesture here uh, actually means dropping an object. This one, even the game doesn't understand what this icon does. This one here, I think it means that you use something. This magnifying lens here is actually the examine icon. At least I think it is. Yes. This clipboard over here is our inventory. Fantastic inventory. We can see the icons here, even though we understand nothing about these. This person here is not ice skating. He's trying to push or pull something. This candle here means that we can light up the room. The disk here is self-explanatory. We can save or load. This hammer here means that we can use something. This arrow here it has to do with the controls of the time machine. And these arrows here mean that you can go up or down. And these are means of navigating. The same thing with the compass here. So let's go upstairs. And here I can show you my second problem with the game. As you can see, we have no hotspots. Nothing appears when we hover the cursor above any of these things. So here we have a nice plush red Persian carpet, and as seasoned adventurers, you might be thinking, all right, there must be something under the carpet. Yes, that's my thought as well. So we will examine the carpet. And as you can see, there's nothing there. But actually there is. It's just that you have to use the examine icon and examine the upper right corner of the carpet, so that this window appears with a punch card that we have to take. So our next option would naturally be to do this and pick up the punch card, but it's impossible. Why? It's because you cannot interact with the window. You have to do the same thing in the place where you actually found the punch card before opening the window. And this becomes quite a problem, because you have to do it, this problem with the hotspots and finding the objects happens all the time in this game. For example, let's look at this statue. Great. It's holding a tray. It's wearing a golden dress and a fez. It has a pedestal. There must be something here. Let's... Nothing. The tray. Nothing. The pedestal. Ah. And here we found the key. And of course, we cannot pick up the key by clicking here. We must click on the pedestal. So this becomes a major problem in this game, because you cannot see the places with which you can interact. You have no feedback. For example, there is nothing here. It writes nothing. So you don't know if you get interact with this thing or not. So you have to find the exact place. You have to guess the exact place where you might be able to interact with something. And every time you have to go there, click on the examine, click there. If you miss it, again. And all this is very, very slow and very unresponsive, and it becomes a drag after a while. Okay, the next problem lies with the navigation. We have the arrows here and we have the compass here, but we have no damn way of knowing where we can go and where we can't. For example, we have all these directions available to us, but let's try and go southwest. Not interesting. Let's go south. Not interesting. Let's go southeast. Not interesting. Let's go east. Not interesting. Okay, there's a wall there, but I can see a whole way to the west, so surely we can go there. Not interesting. So let's go to the doors in the north. Not interesting. Let's go up. Nothing. So we have no way of knowing where we can go and where we can't go. We have to actually try every single one of these directions and hope for the best. For example, I press here northwest, and we reach this nice bedroom. Let's see if there's anything on the bed, if there's anything on the pillow, in the corner of the pillow, under the bed. Anyway, and let's say I want to live here. What do? South. Not interesting. East. I can see an opening in the east. Not interesting. You have to actually remember that you came by pressing northwest so that you can exit using the southeast. Okay. This one gives a description of the place and of the quest, and it's not helpful, and it doesn't do anything. The descriptions are basic and lazy. No effort was done in the descriptions. The puzzles, they are bland, they're boring, they're uninspiring, they're nothing. Uh, so let's go to another room so I can escape this dumb place. So the graphics of this game, they're okay for the time. They're not something good. They get the job done. They're average. The sound, apart from the nice tune in the beginning, we have this evil loop by David Whittaker, which is a fine example of his laziest works, and I cannot stand it. Every time I load up this game, I have to mute the sound before I drive myself insane. And apart from that, there is nothing else. But the worst part of all is the gameplay. You always have to struggle against this horrible interface. This is the worst interface ever. Who thought that this was acceptable? Even in 1988, there were great adventures around with great user interface. Um, who thought that, okay, yes, this helps the player? Who created this and who accepted this and thought this was a great idea? It's so clunky. It's so unresponsive. It's so difficult to find anything and interact with the environment in any way that I just ended up rage quitting this game. As I said before, the puzzles are basic and very uninspiring. There are no characters. The description and the text is very basic and very lazy. So I would not recommend this one. Avoid it like it was the plague. And this ends this review. So I'll see you next time.